Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. I'm sitting out on the steps of the federal building after having protested for a couple of hours. I thought I'd just come and sit here. I'm going to be posting up some of my other videos, but I wanted to share with you some thoughts I had about the whole nuclear thing. It's been kind of a lonely vigil here. I've been standing out right there on the corner. And as you can see, this is why I picked this place. Look at all the cars. I've been out here since 3:30. It's 5:45 now. So it's been a lot of people getting off of work. And I wanted them to see this sign. And it's been very interesting because the comments I've had have been few. A lot of people have looked. But what really blew me away is the couple of comments that I got. One girl drove by and was like, before you get freaked out about Chernobyl, you should look into Hanford. As if somebody who is protesting about Chernobyl doesn't know about Hanford. That was my first thought. And then this other group of a couple group of guys in a car. One guy rolled down his window and he's like, well, you should look into vaccines. That kills a whole lot more kids. And I'm like, what'd you say? And then he rolled up his window. Which I find, this is why I don't like Facebook. And I'll just tell you this. I find that Facebook isolates people. I find that social media isolates people. People do not gather in groups anymore. They gather on social media, which means they're not getting together and protesting in the streets. Today is the 33rd year after Chernobyl, and there are still children like that being born today. And I highly recommend anyone who's interested in Chernobyl to listen to Libby Halevi's anniversary show today. It was very compelling. Again, more information about how the nuclear industry and the U.S. military basically destroys any information that shows that nuclear contamination causes severe and long-term harm. So that's kind of their MO, is they just, if they deny it long enough, it doesn't exist. It's actually very genocidal. It's suicidal. It's beyond comprehension. And yet to get people to remember about Chernobyl, you know, I actually didn't even know about Sellafield. I mean, that's the thing. I have always thought that I'm kind of like an average American. Like, I really believe that Fukushima was doing great. I really believe that our government was helping in Fukushima, that they actually had capped it and stopped it. I believe that Chernobyl had been capped and stopped. This is what has kept me doing this for 5 or 6 years when other people have quit. Just the fact that the knowledge that nuclear contamination doesn't end. You can't actually ever clean it up. All you can do is move it from one place to the next, but you're not. They have put zero money into figuring out how to remediate it and make it into something else. I mean, they literally are just wasting our tax dollars until they kill everybody on our planet, I guess. I don't know. And I've been standing out here for like 2 hours by myself, holding this sign up, and it's been quite silent, right? And thinking about what's the goal here? Really, what is the goal? What are we trying to do? And for myself, I think the idea is to get people engaged enough so that they care, that they see this as a danger, clear and present danger, which it is. All nuclear power plants are a clear and present danger. And I found it very interesting today that Secretary of Energy Rick Perry put up a YouTube video on the very same day that the anniversary of Chernobyl. I think they're going to open up the Vogel nuclear power plant. You know, I don't know how many of you actually know this, but our government has actually signed a declaration, Trader Trump signed a declaration saying that our government is going to completely 100% sponsor nuclear. So any failing nuclear power plant is going to be paid with our tax dollars. We're going to prop up every single nuclear facility that we can. And I think I'm going to move this picture out here because people are driving by and looking at it. So I'm going to put this out here. Anyways, that looks better, doesn't it? That's an easier one. That's kind of a silent protest. Just sit out there while these people are driving by looking at me, sitting in front of this sign, making this video. We're certainly in a pickle. Look at those skies. Chemtrailed, geoengineered. This is the pickle we're in. We have an entire population of people who don't believe in geoengineering and firmly believe that nuclear contamination is just not that bad, that there's just not that many chemicals that have been strewn around the earth, that it's just not that bad. That of course kids get sick, of course kids get cancer, of course people die of cancer, autoimmune diseases, that those are natural. They forget that humans didn't have cancer, humans didn't have autoimmune diseases. Look at this. Can you guys see that geoengineering? That is what has been going on all day long here. Our skies were perfectly blue. All of these clouds in the sky, none of it is real. None of those are real clouds. And I'm standing out here with a sign all by myself outside talking about Chernobyl and Fukushima and Sellafield and Hanford. And these people inside this federal building, they're giving all this money to Bechtel. Billions of dollars go to Bechtel to kill us. That's essentially what happens. Bechtel is like one of the forerunners. And they're literally just killing us. And they don't care. They go to work, they get their jobs, they get their Social Security. And you know, when I've talked to some of these pro-nuclear people, their basic theme is this, is that it doesn't matter because we get to live our 50, 60 years of living and we live a good life. And who really cares if we die? Who cares if we die early? I mean, living to 60 is considered old age, right? I mean, I'm 63. I guess they could just write me off. Huh? I don't know. There's people that are driving by looking at this. That's kind of the awesome thing. It's sad. You know what's really sad is people are not connecting it. That we could have a Chernobyl right here in the Northwest. Quite literally, quite easily. When we have a 6.4 or greater earthquake underneath the Columbia Generating Station, we are going to have a nuclear meltdown. And within 72 hours, some of those tanks at Hanford are going to explode. We are going to have an explosion that will not stop for 750,000 years, period. And will they tell us about it? Not unless it shows some plumes that we can see, unless it has explosions that somebody reports on. They're never going to tell us. They don't tell us when they dump chemicals in the ocean or nuclear contamination in the ocean. They don't tell us when they poison our children with GMOs. They're pumping our kids full of vaccines. I mean, it is beyond comprehension. Anybody in Oregon, by the way, needs to contact their legislators to stop House Bill 3063, which basically takes away parents' rights to not vaccinate their children in this state. They're going to even make homeschoolers get vaccinated. I did vaccinate my children when my kids were little, but I only gave them 3 vaccines. I don't think I would vaccinate my kids if it was today's role model where you have to fill your kids up with 18 vaccines. They want to give your infant HPV virus, or like, what the hell? It blows me away how completely insane people are. And to think about who are the quote nuclear experts, right? This whole thing about Helen Caldicott and Chris Busby not calling out the nuclear industry and pretending like they kind of agree with them so that they can be the quote experts in the court. Like what a pisser that is, right? You have to pretend like you agree with some of the things about the nuclear industry so that you can challenge them in court. And those are the people that are defending our soldiers and the workers who are in court. Those are the experts. At what point does money not mean everything? I think money is not the root of all evil. Greed is the root of all evil. It's really sad. They're killing us. Literally, they are literally killing our children. We do not have a future because of the nuclear industry. That's the reality. There is no future when you think about this in the very long term of it all. Because after 8 generations, we are going to have children that pop out like that baby did. There's shitloads of babies like that that aren't even being counted right now. No one keeps track of them. No one keeps track of the oncology rates. Nobody's keeping track of the autoimmune diseases. I mean, I did a very simple thing. I took a map from the CDC where they said all the children have their diseases, all the handicapped children in the United States. They have a map of it. And you put them over where all the nuclear power plants are, and guess what? It looks exactly the same. But is anybody investigating that? No, they are definitely not investigating it. So I sit here and make these videos that few people watch. Will it go viral? Wouldn't that be awesome if this video went viral? What would I need to do? I don't know. I don't know what would make this viral. Pick my nose on the video? I don't know. People like stupid things. This is definitely not a stupid thing. It's quite harmful. You know, I'm looking at this. I wonder if that's going to come out backwards. It says Chernobyl still harms children. 33 years, April 25th, 1986. And that little painting is a little painting I did while I was editing the nuclear hot seat. I don't know, you guys. I appreciate my YouTube channel subscribers. I have been quite absent for the last month and a half, and I'm kind of getting the urge to continue to make videos again and do my radio show, and hunkered back down into it. My life is settling down again. There's nobody living at my house now. That helps. Now I actually have some time and some privacy to be able to dedicate to this. And what's the point of it? This is kind of what I've been thinking about all afternoon. What's the point of it? The point of it is to give us a chance in hell. I mean, a little eensy bit of a chance that maybe we can activate enough people so that they will demand our elected officials to stop funding nuclear, even though Trader Trump signed something that said we're going to definitely support nuclear. You know why we're supporting nuclear? Because they're going to go out into space. They're there, actually. They are there. That's why we have the massive surveillance. It's really bizarre to sit in front of this federal building and realize that everything I'm saying is probably being recorded by some fucking high-powered spy machine inside one of these fucking poles or something, God knows what. It's really sad. We had so much potential. You know, that's how life is, right? You have so much potential. And it's your lack of self-love and self-confidence that keeps you from developing fully. And that's what they do. They pressure everyone to keep us down. And I think that's the point of this, is to encourage us not to get down, even in the face of omnicide. We only have our lives until we live, right? Until we're at the end of it. We only have our lives until we die. You know, and there really isn't, there's no point in being pessimistic. Even though these rats look like they're winning, You know, the thing is, there is no really winning in the game of life. Like, we have got to survive. That's what it is. Life has always been difficult, and in human society there are oppressors and there are the oppressed. And we are repeatedly reminded that this is the land of the slaves, that there is no democracy. I mean, watch our election cycle. Anyways, I see I'm going on for 15 minutes. I'm going to end here, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Put your courage feet on. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you later. Ciao.